Change in our country comes when the voices of the powerless reach the ears of the powerful. When those whose names we'll never know, but who risk their lives to, in the words of Dr. King, bend the arc of the moral universe toward justice. Bending that arc is the work of our time. But it'll take all of us, red states, blue states, Republicans, Democrats, conservatives, and liberals. And I believe from the bottom of my heart we can do it. People ask me, why are you so confident, Joe? Because we are the United States of America. There's nothing the American people can't do and been unable to do when we put our minds to it. The news of Franklin Delano Roosevelt's death went out on the wires. An editor in Chicago turned to his colleagues and said, "Clear the decks for action." So I say to you today, if you give me the honor of serving as your president, clear the decks for action. For we will act. We will act on the first day of my presidency to get COVID under control. We'll act to pass my economic plan that will finally reward work, not wealth in this country. We'll act to pass my health care plan to provide affordable, accessible health care for every American and drug prices that are dramatically lower. We'll act to pass the Biden climate plan, meeting the challenges of a climate crisis while creating millions of good-paying, high-paying labor jobs. We'll act to address systemic racism in our country. We'll act to give working people a fair shot again in this country. And we'll act to restore our faith in democracy and our faith in one another. Today, we're facing a public health crisis of historic proportions. And with winter at hand, it's getting worse. Just last Friday, 83,000 new cases in one day. Saturday, another 83,000 cases. Nearly 1,000 people a day are dying. Another 200,000 deaths are expected over the next several months. And the president keeps telling us not to worry. He keeps telling us we're turning the corner, is his quote. It's as removed from reality and as offensive as when he told us the virus affects virtually nobody, just the elderly with heart conditions. Virtually nobody, just the elderly with heart conditions. As if they don't matter. And when he said in response to the number of deaths reaching 1,000, he said, "It is what it is." Well, it is what it is because he is who he is. In the spring, the president declared in his voice as commander-in-chief, says commander-in-chief, he was going to wage war on the virus. Instead, he shrugged, he swaggered, and he surrendered. And then his chief of staff, just last week, made a stunning admission, an admission that I believed but never thought he'd say, saying, quote, "We're not going to control the pandemic," end of quote. We're not going to control the pandemic. It's a capitulation. It's a waving of a white flag. It's a window into the shocking truth about this White House, that they've never really tried. Think about all the frontline health professionals who've risked and some given their lives for the last 9 months in this pandemic. Think about all the first responders. Think about all the grocery store clerks, the drivers, the delivery drivers, the trucks, teachers, parents, with their kids home from school. Think about all those who've lost their jobs. Think about all those who have been infected by the virus. Think about all those who have died. They were giving their all while their president was giving up. Well, I'm here to tell you, we can and we will control this virus As president, I will never wave the white flag of surrender. Just imagine where we'd be today if the president had embraced wearing masks instead of mocking it. Imagine where we'd be today with a president who practiced social distancing instead of holding super spreader events. Imagine where we'd be with a comprehensive system of testing and tracing. I first put forward a detailed plan on how to deal with this virus back in March. This administration ignored it. Then I released several more detailed plans in the months that followed, the most recent just last week. This administration has yet to offer a single plan. That's one of the reasons why one of the most prestigious medical journals in the world, the New England Journal of Medicine, called the president, quote, dangerously incompetent. Went on to say the president had turned a crisis into a tragedy. I'm ready to act. I know what to do. And starting on day one of my presidency, we will do it. I've talked about the battle for the soul of America since the very beginning of this campaign. And I want to be very clear in these closing days about what I mean and about what I intend to do in that battle to assure that our better angels prevail over our worst instincts. I believe this election is about who we are as a nation, what we believe, and maybe most importantly, who we want to be. It's about our essence. It's about what makes us Americans. It's that fundamental. Time and again throughout our history, we've seen charlatans, the con men, the phony populists who sought to play on our fears, appeal to our worst appetites, and pick at the oldest scabs we have for their own political gain. They appear when the nation's been hit the hardest and we're at our most vulnerable. Never to solve anything, but only to benefit themselves. In a recent encyclical, Pope Francis warns us against this phony populism that appeals to, quote, the basest and most selfish instincts. He goes on to say, politics is something more noble than posturing, marketing, and media spin. These sow nothing but division, conflict, and oblique cynicism. He said, for those who seek to lead, we do well to ask ourselves, why am I doing this? Why? What is my real aim? Pope Francis asked questions that anyone who seeks to lead this great nation should be able to answer. And my answer is this: I run to unite this nation and to heal this nation. I've said that from the beginning. It's badly necessary. The Bible tells us there's a time to break down and a time to build up, a time to heal. This is that time. God and history have called us to this moment and to this mission. With our voices and our votes, we must free ourselves from the forces of darkness, from the forces of division, and the forces of yesterday, from the forces that pull us apart, hold us down, and hold us back. And if we do so, we'll once more become one nation, under God, indivisible, a nation united, a nation strengthened, a nation healed. That is my goal. That is why I'm running. That is what we must do. Thank you all for being here. And may God bless America, and may God protect our troops. Stay safe and wear your mask.